Laura, your takeaway, a lot of people expecting this legislation to be passed today. Your reaction to it?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, first of all. It's a pretty historic move here. I think other cities across the country look to New York as a leader on so many kinds of urban issues, and particularly in the transportation space. So I think we are going to see a kind of wave of other cities following the lead to pass stronger regulations. Uber's been an industry that's been kind of hard to rein in over the last several years, and in fact, a few years ago there was an attempt by Mayor de Blasio to actually put a cap of this kind, so it's significant.
A lot of people, riders or even the rideshare companies, a little nervous though this may limit their options, that maybe this seemed like kind of a band-aid on a bigger problem. What do you say to those people who think that maybe this, wasn't the right move just yet, but they should have thought it through a little more?
Yeah, I think it's a totally valid concern, right? And there may be, just as like with any day of the week, right? There may be some riders who see longer wait times, for any number of reasons. But I think what's important to remember here is that a growing body of research is showing these cars probably are adding to congestion on the streets. They are likely drawing riders off of the subway, and sometimes for good reason, right? And adding to carbon emissions. So I think we should be looking at this as one way and one kind of attempt over a long period of time for the city to wrap its arms around a pretty complicated issue and try to understand what's going on to manage a more efficient, better transportation system for the whole city in the long run.
And then I know we've been talking about the rideshare companies, but taxi drivers have been up in arms for quite some time about this. From their perspective, what does this mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this issue has really been driven close to home over the last few months, where we've seen the spate of driver suicides linked to the pretty grim economic fortunes of yellow cab drivers in particular. And Uber and Lyft drivers are not like rolling in cash either, right? This is a tough job, and especially as you have this kind of unmitigated growth, right? So I think from the driver's standpoint, this is a really, really big win.
All right, Laura, we originally invited you in to talk about steam pipes here in New York City after that explosion in the Flatiron District last month, because you also cover infrastructure. A quick update for our viewers. Most of the businesses in that area have reopened. All but one of the evacuated buildings have been cleared for people to return. So let's talk about steam pipes, because I think, first of all, a lot of people are wondering, what the heck is the deal with them? Why are they here? What do they do? How long have they been here?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I think I've probably talked to people who've lived in New York for years and years, and have actually no idea why there's steam rising up from the ground, all over the city. And in fact, this is a system that is a pretty instrumental part of the way the city works and actually looks from even a skyline perspective, right? So the steam is a natural byproduct of energy that's being generated underground from several power plants distributed throughout the city. And the steam itself is actually used in this really efficient way to power a lot of the things in our city that need power, from air conditioning units, right, especially in lower Manhattan, to heating in the winter, to dishwashers, to the climate control systems in our beautiful museums. And it's actually pretty safe, right? I mean, this explosion was quite scary and obviously caused some considerable damage and some injuries. But over its almost 140-year history, I think it's been around since the 1880s, so do the math. There haven't been that many significant incidents like this, so it's pretty safe.
You already led into my next question, which was going to be the safety of it all, because it's a great point. A lot of people saw an explosion like that. There was one years ago, I think, near Grand Central, and people think, ooh, do we need to be worried about our safety when it's a system that's been around for so long? But you do say relatively safe and effective?
Yeah, I mean, right, there was that 2007 explosion, which did cause a lot of damage too, and there was some controversy around what caused that, and Con Edison, I know, did do a pretty thorough investigation and kind of repair of targeted some of the contributing factors there. I think overall, we look at this very, very long history. There's only been a few incidents like that.
Is this a system that's unique to New York City? Do other cities have this? And I mean, I know I read on City Lab and some of the research you've already done, 105 miles of...
105 miles, yeah, so it's not the only city that has this. Other kind of older East Coast cities up and down the coast have it. In Europe as well, Paris is a pretty huge system, but New York is unique in that it is the largest in the world, as you say, over 105 miles. and it achieves this like pretty amazing efficiency, right? It's generating energy to power the city, and some of that, the byproduct is helping out too. So it's pretty cool. So I think we should not feel like afraid, right, about it. We should actually feel pretty proud.
Awesome. Yeah. Laura, you're a wealth of knowledge on transportation and infrastructure.
That's right.
Thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot. All right, we've got a lot more coming up tonight, including Audrey's forecast. Audrey, what's going on?
Well, we still have the heat.